What if I told you that right now, today, you could go on Amazon and buy gadgets that are completely banned in other countries? Some of these devices can clone your neighbor's key fob, see through walls, or intercept signals, and they're sitting right there on Amazon's website, available with Prime shipping. Today, we're counting down 15 of the most controversial, restricted, and outright banned gadgets you can still get your hands on through Amazon. Before we dive in, make sure you hit that subscribe button and drop a like on this video. And I want to hear from you in the comments. What tech gadgets are you currently using, and what problems are you running into with them? Let's get into it. Number 15. The ARFID Key Fob Duplicator. We're starting with something that sounds incredibly simple, but is actually quite alarming. The Keezy ARFID Duplicator is a small handheld device that can copy the signal from your office key fob or apartment access card in just a few seconds. You tap your card to it, it reads the signal, and boom, it stores a clone. You can then write that clone onto a blank card and walk through any door that your original card opened. In the United States, this device is legal to own and is actually marketed toward people who want a backup copy of their own access cards. That makes sense on paper. But in countries like Brazil and Canada, devices like this are banned because of their obvious potential for misuse, specifically for skimming and unauthorized building access. Despite being flagged in multiple countries, you can still find the Keezy and similar ARFID duplicators on Amazon US with no restrictions. Prices typically run between $30 and $60, and they come with glowing reviews from people who say they use them for legitimate purposes. Number 14. Hidden spy cameras. This one might not surprise you, but the scale of availability absolutely will. There are hundreds of hidden camera products on Amazon right now. Inside wall clocks, smoke detectors, picture frames, pens, even air fresheners. One popular model, the Vidcastive 4K Mini Wi-Fi camera, looks completely like a regular household item, but streams live HD footage directly to your phone. In the European Union, selling and using these cameras without consent is a serious violation of GDPR privacy laws. In many EU countries, just owning one with the intent to record someone without their knowledge can land you in legal trouble. But on Amazon US, these cameras are listed openly, marketed as nanny cams or home security devices. The legal justification is that they're only illegal when misused, which puts the responsibility entirely on the buyer. Still, the fact that you can order one and have it delivered to your door in 2 days raises serious ethical questions. Number 13. High-powered laser pointers. You probably remember laser pointers from school presentations, but the ones we're talking about here are in a completely different category. These are lasers powerful enough to pop balloons, light matches, and potentially cause permanent eye damage within seconds of direct exposure. Some models on Amazon exceed 1,000 milliwatts of output power. Australia and the UK have banned high-powered lasers outright, classifying them as weapons. In the US, the FDA regulates laser output, but enforcement through online marketplaces is inconsistent, and many of these ultra-high-powered models slip through. People buy them for astronomy and entertainment, but the misuse potential, especially near airports, is why other countries drew a hard line. You'll find plenty of them on Amazon US, often listed with vague wattage descriptions to avoid detection. Number 12. Signal jammers. Okay, this one is actually federally illegal in the United States. Yet if you know what to search, you can still find signal jamming devices slipping through on Amazon via third-party sellers. Signal jammers are devices that block cell phone signals, Wi-Fi, and GPS within a certain radius. They were originally developed for military use to prevent remote detonation of explosives. The FCC has made it very clear, owning or operating a signal jammer in the US is illegal. Full stop. They can interfere with emergency services, which is why the penalties are severe. Many countries in Europe and Asia have similar or even stricter bans. The reason they keep appearing on Amazon is because third-party sellers from overseas list them before Amazon's enforcement catches up. If you see one, know that buying it comes with serious legal risk. Number 11. Stun guns and tasers. Stun guns and personal tasers are one of the most commonly sold self-defense tools on Amazon US, with popular models like the Saber 2 and 1 stun gun and the Taser Bolt 2 sitting right there in search results. In over 40 US states, these are completely legal to own for personal protection, which is why Amazon carries them openly. But cross the Atlantic, and the story changes completely. Stun guns are banned across the EU and the UK, where they're classified alongside firearms in terms of restricted weapons. Even in Canada, stun guns are prohibited unless you have specific law enforcement credentials. Amazon's approach here perfectly illustrates the challenge these platforms face. What's a mainstream self-defense product in Texas is a serious criminal item in Germany. Same product, completely different legal reality depending on your zip code. Number 10. Thermal imaging cameras. The FLIR Scout and similar thermal imaging cameras let you see heat signatures in complete darkness. They're used legitimately by hunters, search and rescue teams, and electricians checking for overheating equipment. But in several countries, including Australia and parts of Europe, handheld thermal imagers are heavily regulated or outright banned for civilian use because of their obvious surveillance potential. Think about it. With a thermal camera, you can see if someone is moving around inside a building, detect people hiding behind bushes, or monitor activity in the dark without anyone knowing. Law enforcement agencies in restricted countries argue that putting this technology in civilian hands creates serious privacy and security risks. On Amazon US, these cameras are sold with no questions asked, and some models are available for under $300. Number 9. The Flipper Zero and its accessories. If you follow the tech world at all, you've heard of the Flipper Zero. It's a small handheld device that looks like a toy, but is actually a powerful multi-tool for radio frequency communication. It can read and emulate RFID cards, NFC signals, infrared remotes, and even interact with certain wireless protocols. Security researchers love it. Governments? Not so much. Canada actually moved to ban the Flipper Zero in 2024, citing its potential use in car theft. Brazil has seized shipments at customs. U.S. Customs and Border Protection has reportedly intercepted certain imported units as well. Yet the device itself remains legal in the U.S., and much of the U for ethical hacking and security research purposes, and its accessories, like the GNS GPS module, are available on Amazon. The Flipper Zero lives in a constant battle between being a legitimate security research tool and a potential criminal gadget. Number 8. High-lumen tactical flashlights. This one surprises most people. A flashlight banned? The Nitecore TM20K puts out 20,000 lumens of light. For context, a typical household LED bulb produces around 800 lumens. At 20,000 lumens, this flashlight can temporarily blind someone from a significant distance, which is exactly why Australia and the UK classify extreme output flashlights as potential weapons under certain conditions. In the US, there are no restrictions on flashlight brightness whatsoever. Amazon sells these high lumen models openly, and they're popular among outdoor enthusiasts, security professionals, and honestly, people who just think it's really cool to own something that powerful. The gap between cool gadget and restricted weapon here really comes down to cultural and legal interpretation. Number 7. Faraday bags and signal blocking pouches. Faraday bags are designed to completely block all wireless signals from reaching a device placed inside them. Drop your phone into a Faraday bag and it becomes completely unreachable. No calls, no tracking, no data. Sounds like something a spy would use, right? That's kind of the point. While these bags are legal almost everywhere, several countries have raised flags about their sale and use, particularly in law enforcement contexts, where criminals have used them to prevent tracking devices on stolen vehicles from transmitting. Despite these concerns, Faraday bags remain freely available on Amazon, marketed primarily as privacy tools and as protection against key fob relay theft, which, ironically, pairs them right back with the RFID duplicators we talked about earlier. Number 6. Through-wall listening devices. These are exactly what they sound like. Wall microphone listeners and contact microphones can be pressed against a surface to pick up vibrations and amplify sound from the other side. Detectives and private investigators use professional versions, but consumer-grade models are available on Amazon for as little as $30. In most of Europe, using a listening device to record conversations without consent is a criminal offense, and the bar for legal use is extremely high. In the US, the laws vary by state. Federal wiretapping laws make unauthorized interception illegal, but simply owning the device is not. You can imagine how law enforcement feels about $30 spy microphones being freely available to anyone with a Prime account. Number 5. Pen cameras and wearable hidden recording devices. Similar to the hidden cameras we discussed earlier, but these go a step further because they're wearable. Pen cameras, glasses with built-in cameras, and button cameras allow someone to record video and audio while walking around looking completely normal. These are used by journalists doing undercover investigations, but also obviously by people with less noble intentions. Several EU countries, Japan, and South Korea have specific laws against covert recording devices in public spaces, and importing these items through customs can result in seizure. Amazon US still carries dozens of variations, with some models storing footage directly on a micro SD card and others streaming live to a connected phone. Number 4. Hacking USB devices, Ducky, and clones. The USB rubber Ducky is a device that looks exactly like a regular USB flash drive. But when you plug it into a computer, it instantly registers as a keyboard and begins executing pre-programmed commands at superhuman speed. It can extract passwords, install software, or open back doors, all in under 60 seconds. This device was originally developed for penetration testers, security professionals who legally hack into systems to find vulnerabilities before real hackers do. But clone versions are widely available on Amazon and other platforms, and in the wrong hands, this is a devastating hacking tool. Countries with strict cybercrime laws, including many in the EU, have flagged these devices for import control. In the US, owning one isn't illegal, but using it on a system without authorization absolutely violates the Computer Fraud and Abuse Act. Number 3. GPS trackers without consent features. GPS trackers have completely legitimate uses, tracking your car if it gets stolen, monitoring a delivery vehicle, keeping tabs on your elderly parent with dementia. But compact, concealable GPS trackers that can be magnetically attached under a car in seconds are a very different matter when used without consent. Stalking and covert tracking laws in the UK, Germany, and Australia explicitly prohibit placing a tracking device on someone's vehicle or property without their knowledge. In the US, laws vary significantly by state, and Amazon sells these trackers freely, marketed for fleet management and vehicle security. Some models are the size of a matchbox and can run for weeks on a single charge. Number 2. Cell phone spyware hardware adapters. There are physical hardware dongles available, some even popping up on Amazon through third-party sellers, that claim to extract data from locked phones, mirror device screens, or access call logs. These are closely related to the forensic tools that law enforcement uses, but in consumer-grade, affordable form. Selling and importing these tools is restricted or outright illegal in multiple countries, including across the EU and Canada, because their primary use case is accessing someone else's private device data without authorization. Amazon's enforcement is inconsistent because sellers use vague product descriptions like data recovery tool or phone diagnostic device to avoid triggering content filters. Number 1. IMSI catchers. This is the most serious item on our list. IMSI catchers, sometimes called stingrays, are devices that mimic cell towers, tricking nearby phones into connecting to them. Once connected, the device can intercept calls, text messages, and identify every phone in the area. Law enforcement agencies worldwide use these devices legally with court authorization. But miniaturized, consumer-accessible versions have started appearing on the market, and some have been listed on Amazon through overseas third-party sellers before being removed. Owning or operating one without authorization is illegal in the US, EU, UK, and most countries worldwide. The fact that they've appeared on Amazon at all, even briefly, is genuinely alarming and highlights just how difficult it is to police a marketplace as massive as Amazon. Final thoughts. So, there you have it. 15 gadgets ranging from mildly controversial to seriously alarming, all sharing one thing in common. They're either banned somewhere in the world or exist in a legal gray zone. Yet, they've all appeared on Amazon at some point. The bigger story here isn't really about the gadgets themselves. It's about how online marketplaces struggle to police an enormous catalog of products sold by millions of third-party sellers across different legal jurisdictions. A device that's a legitimate security research tool in California might be a seizable criminal item the moment it crosses into Canada or Germany. The technology itself is rarely the problem, it's always about intent and use. But that's also exactly why these gadgets make governments nervous, because intent is invisible until it becomes action. If you found this video interesting, do me a favor and hit that like button. It genuinely helps the channel grow. Subscribe if you haven't already, and drop a comment below telling me which gadget surprised you the most. See you in the next one.